You need to hear this if you're studying human behavior. The complexities of human nature are often hidden beneath layers of social norms and expectations. But what happens when those layers are stripped away? What happens when art lets the public unleash their darkest sides? Can a simple performance reveal the true nature of humanity? These questions have fascinated psychologists, sociologists, and artists for decades. In 1974, Marina Abramović conducted one of the most radical experiments. This wasn't just any art performance, it was a deep dive into the human psyche, a test of the boundaries of human behavior. Abramović's work has always been about pushing limits, but this time, she pushed the limits of her audience as well. In a Naples gallery, she stood passive for 6 hours, letting the audience use 72 objects on her. These objects were carefully selected to provoke a range of actions and emotions. The objects included items that could bring pleasure, like a rose, and items that could cause pain, like a whip. There were also objects that could inflict serious harm, such as a loaded gun. These objects ranged from a harmless rose, which symbolizes love and beauty, to a loaded gun, a symbol of power and potential violence. At first, people were gentle, offering a rose, a kiss. They were hesitant, unsure of the boundaries or the consequences of their actions. But as time ticked on, their actions grew darker. The initial hesitation gave way to curiosity and then to something more sinister. The atmosphere in the gallery shifted from one of cautious engagement to one of unsettling tension. Her clothes were cut off piece by piece, as if the audience was stripping away her dignity along with her garments. The act of cutting her clothes was not just an invasion of her personal space. It was a symbolic act of dehumanization. She was pricked with rose thorns, a cruel twist on the earlier gesture of offering a rose. The thorns drew blood, turning a symbol of love into an instrument of pain, and someone even placed the loaded gun in her hand, pointing it at her own head. This was a moment of extreme tension, a test of the ultimate boundary. Would someone actually pull the trigger? The audience watched, some in horror, some in fascination. It was a chilling reminder of how easily the line between curiosity and cruelty can be crossed. She was sexually harassed and left bleeding. The performance had turned into a nightmare, a descent into the darkest corners of human nature. Yet Abramović did not resist. Her passivity was a crucial part of the experiment. She wanted to see how far people would go when given absolute power over another human being. When the 6 hours ended and she moved, the spell was broken. The audience, now faced with the reality of their actions, quickly left. They had been participants in a social experiment, and the results were disturbing. Rhythm Zero revealed how easily people can turn violent without consequences. It was a stark reminder of the thin veneer of civilization that can be easily shattered. Abramović reflected, if you leave it up to the public, they can kill you. Her words are a haunting reminder of the potential for violence that lies within us all. This performance remains one of the most disturbing and iconic works in body art history.